Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't seen any of my previous videos, my name is Candy. I am currently 34 weeks pregnant with our little girl that's trying to come early, so I need to get everything done that I can to get ready for this baby. So this is the second part of my freezer prep. If you haven't seen the first part, I'll have that link down below or up here in the iCards. It'll be linked somewhere for y'all if y'all would like some more freezer meal ideas. Now, of course, you can do this even if you're not pregnant, just to get your family set up where you don't have to do cooking every single night, because we all know that's no fun. So today I'm going to make several different things. Let me see what's on my list. So today I'm gonna make several different things. I'm gonna have some helpers come in that don't want to be on camera and just a little bit to help me out where I'm not doing all this by myself, because like I said, it's supposed to be on bed rest. So we are going to make slow cooker chicken marsala, slow cooker Chickencacciatore, Mongolian beef, sesame honey chicken, chicken meatballs, Thai peanut chicken saute, and chili. That is all the meals that we'll be covering today. Since I am gonna have helpers and I don't know how much they're gonna be doing and I'm gonna be doing, you might not see every single step of this process, but I will try to link all the recipes down below, or at least write them out for y'all if I can't find links for them, because most of them are from Pinterest. And I will try to show y'all what's going in each individual meal, but I have all of my ingredients laid out here, have all my spices over there. So I'm gonna get started on the chili first, because that needs to cool down before we can put it into bags. So I'm going to start by dumping 3 pounds of ground beef into my humongous pot back here and get that going. And then I'm gonna chop up all my vegetables for the chili, and then we'll move on to other things. So I'm gonna scoot these ingredients forward where I can sit here and chop my bell peppers. I'm gonna cheat and use my already chopped frozen onions for my chili. And I'm making a really big batch, so I don't know like the amounts I'm gonna be dumping in this thing, but it's gonna be a lot of chili. I'm hoping to get at least 3 dinners worth out of this chili, and I'll probably only get like 2 out of all the other ingredients. So let me wash these bell peppers and then we will get them chopped up for our chili. Now, before I do that, I think I'm gonna get my quinoa going also, because it's good if you let it cool down before you do your chicken meatballs with them. I'm pretty sure I have made chicken meatballs on my channel before. Might actually be a couple of videos ago on my like what was for dinner. But I do, if you're doing just 1 pound of the ground chicken, do 1 cup of quinoa. So I'm going to do 2 cups of quinoa in here, and then 2 cups of chicken broth as well. And I put a little bit of diced onions in here too, because it just makes it taste good. Sprinkle some onions in there, and chicken broth, wherever that is. I think I'm gonna have to go get another thing of chicken broth out of my pantry. Oh yeah, this is not gonna be enough, because I need it for I think 2 of the other recipes too. I'm gonna do 2.5 cups of chicken. So now that my meat, onions, and bell peppers are all cooked down, I'm going to dump 1 can of crushed tomatoes. And then I have some leftover salsa, so I'm going to dump that in there too, because it makes it delicious and gives it a little spice. And I'm gonna mix that around and see if that's enough tomatoes. If not, I'm gonna add in another can. Then we'll add in all of our spices. I think it needs another can. Yeah, let's put another one. So I dumped in this can of chili ready tomatoes too, and that should be enough. Mix that in. And we're gonna do all of our spices. I'm going to do paprika, a whole ton of chili powder, garlic powder, or not, well, what is this? Onion powder, cumin. Oh, cumin smells so dang good. And garlic salt. Oh, and pepper, we need pepper. And some black pepper too, and that should make it nice and tasty. Could have probably done this in my small pan, I think. I've not gotten this humongous thing dirty. Okay, and then I'm gonna put this back on the burner and just let this simmer for a while and make all these spices come together. So at this point I had my helpers come in. So we started off with the chicken marsala, and I did about 1 pound of chicken breast in each one of these bags, and then I minced up 1 shallot and half that in between the 2 bags. I had never heard of, or I had heard of a shallot, but I had never cooked with a shallot before. And I don't think that this added very much flavor to it at all. I would probably double the shallots in here. And then I added in my bell peppers, or not my bell peppers, what are these? Baby bell mushrooms. And it called for 2.5 cups of baby bell mushrooms. We went through so many mushrooms in this little freezer meal thing. And then I salted it. I would have put in even more salt and even more pepper because I have already had my baby and we have tested out every single one of these meals already, so I'll let you know how I like them as we go. But yeah, definitely add more spices to almost every single one of these pretty much. Definitely more salt and pepper, and this one more garlic and more shallots. But besides that, it tasted pretty good. So then you saw I put some salt and pepper in there, and I put a tablespoon of garlic into each one of the bags. Then we added 1 cup of chicken broth to each bag, and then I added in the Marsala cooking wine, which was 1/3 cup for each bag. Then I labeled my bags where I would know exactly what was in them in my freezer, and then I put them aside and started the next dish. Next up was Chickencacciatore. We put in 1 pound of bone-in chicken thighs into each one of these bags. If you have a larger family, then you can put all of this into one bag. But since it is only me and my husband that eat like real food in this house, my kids kind of eat whatever they want. That's why I split up these slow cooker meals into only 1 pound for each meal. But I put salt and pepper into each little bag where they would have some seasoning. Like I said, put more salt and pepper into each one. And then I put 2 tablespoons of dried oregano. We added in our diced onion. I used my ones that I had already cut up, but it's about 1 onion, so half that in between the 2 bags. And then a tablespoon of garlic cloves into each one. I buy this big old thing that has them already cut up, makes it a lot easier. Then I put a half a cup of carrots into each bag as well. And then we added in more of the baby bell mushrooms. It was about 1 cup for each bag. Next we put in our chicken broth, which was about half a cup for each one of these bags. And then I added in 2 cups of diced tomatoes with the juice, so pretty much just 1 can into each bag. I labeled the bags where I would know what they were, of course. Next up, I did Mongolian beef. This is the best one out of all of them, if you ask me. And this called for 1.5 pounds of flank steak. I did 3 of these. First off, I added in half a cup of shredded carrots into each one of these bags. These shredded carrots I did with a potato peeler. It was a pain in the butt. Just save yourself some time and buy the shredded carrots already shredded from the store. It's a lot easier. I added in 3 to 4 green onions sliced into pieces. We pretty much just cut them up thinly. I wish I would have left them big because I kind of cooked into the broth and everything and you couldn't really tell that they were there. Next it said to put in 1 thumb of grated ginger. We just chopped up probably like 1.5 tablespoons or so, and then broke that up between the 3 bags. And then I put salt and pepper into each one of the bags. And then it called for soy sauce, so if you want it to be the fake soy sauce, you can do that. But it was half a cup of soy sauce into each bag as well. Next, we added in half a cup of beef broth into each one of the bags for the moisture. And then it called for something that I was not expecting. It called for 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. It called for coconut sugar in this recipe. I didn't have any coconut sugar, so I just did 2 tablespoons of regular sugar into each one. And then I did a big heaping tablespoon of garlic into each one as well. Then of course label your bags. Each one of these you could make in the slow cooker, in any of the settings pretty much. I did most of them in the 3 to 4 hour setting, and I defrosted them all the night before. But like I said, this Mongolian beef was the best one. The next meal we did was sesame honey chicken. Now this one takes a little bit of extra steps in it. You can see that I have a much smaller bag right here. You have to keep the ingredients in this one separated because it has the chicken that you have to saute up, and then it has a sauce that you need to make as well. I did not do this one in the slow cooker. I did this one on stovetop. If I had this one to do over again, I would not do the cornstarch until I was actually going to make the chicken that very day, because I think it got it really gummy. If I had it in there fresh, I think it would have been a lot better. But you dump in your chicken all cut up into little pieces, and then you add in 1/3 cup of cornstarch into each one of your bags. After you do that, you kind of shake it around and get the cornstarch all over it, or if you wait to do the cornstarch, just move on to the next step. But if you do add it in, just zhuzh it around, make sure your chicken gets all kinds of covered. For the sauce, I would double this completely, but right here I did 1/4 cup of honey and a tablespoon of soy sauce, a tablespoon of my minced garlic, a teaspoon of sesame seeds, and then 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. This was not enough sauce whatsoever, in my opinion. I would double every single bit of this, maybe even triple it to make it really saucy and delicious like they have it in the restaurants, because it was not enough sauce. Pour that into a separate bag, and then you're going to put both of your bags into a larger Ziploc bag where you can keep these two ingredients together, label it as such, and then put it aside. This is a meal that I know that I have shared before on my channel, but they are absolutely delicious, so that's why I wanted to make a whole bunch of them, and that is my chicken meatballs. So I started off with 2 pounds of my ground up chicken, and then I put in a cup of that quinoa, and then I put in onion powder, garlic powder, salt and pepper, and I also minced up probably about 5 of the sweet mini red bell peppers. Oh, and I also put some paprika in there. And then you just mush all that together until it's well incorporated, and then you make your little balls. This is something that you do have to cook ahead. You probably could freeze it just like this, but I wanted to be able to just pull this out of the refrigerator and eat it right away. The very last meal I made was Thai peanut chicken. Now, after I made a mess of my coconut milk right here, then I got moved on to the rest of it, but dump 1 whole can of coconut milk into your bowl. And I made this one that night, and then I also made one to put up into the freezer as well. If anything, I would double up on the spices in this one too, because I just did not think it was strong enough. I would not double up on the peanut butter though. So we are going to do 1/2 cup of the creamy peanut butter, 3 tablespoons of lime juice, and then we're going to do 1 tablespoon of ginger grated again, but I just did ginger powder, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce into this, and then 3 tablespoons of honey. And then I got to use my sesame oil that I never get to use. And I also did some minced garlic, curry powder, cumin, and I put in this grama marsala that was really expensive, and some red pepper flakes, and then whisked it all together. Once everything is well incorporated into your bowl, then you add in your pieces of minced up chicken thigh, and then you put all of this into your bags or into your slow cooker. I did this in my Instapot this night. It wasn't that great. Like I said, I would have put in a lot more of the curry powder and pretty much probably all of the other spices as well. I like a lot of spices in my food. I like to taste it. Then I made an absolute mess pouring it into the storage bag. It was probably the hardest one, I think, because it was all liquid. You could probably mix this up in the actual bag itself, but I was afraid my peanut butter would get all stuck to the sides and wouldn't mix in well. I served this meal over rice, and it was really good. This was the very last meal that I had to complete out of my freezer meals. Like I said, I have already had my baby by now. So if you have missed my birth story about this little girl, I will have that linked in the iCards and linked down below. And I will also have that other freezer meal video linked as well, where you can go check that one out. That one had a lot of really good things in it also. I hope that this inspired you to get your freezer all stocked up and make life a little bit easier on yourselves, mama, because we all deserve a little bit of a break. This definitely makes it a lot easier, and if I'm running late or I just have something else to do that day or something, I know I have some meals in the freezer and my family will not go hungry. This definitely helped me out postpartum, and I think I'm going to continue to do this every couple of months just where I can have some quick meals in the freezer for when I don't feel like cooking something or coming up with something that night. Well, I hope that you have enjoyed watching this video, and if you have any questions or if you want me to try out any other different meals, then leave them in the comments below, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye!